Hello, YouTube. This is Jared, and welcome to the Harlem and Brooklyn Railroad. Today, for the weekend of Thanksgiving, or the week of Thanksgiving, I'll be showing some quick updates, which would be a few buildings, some new buildings that I have on the layout, along with some new pavement that I put down and a few other changes, followed by some operations with Amtrak and the Q60, I believe I called it, which is my auto rack being placed back in the distribution center. This is a Q50 going by with some new BNSF closed toppers, and the next four, or the first four tank cars are new. Just put some fresh pavement down, and at some point I'll need to paint these buildings or do some type of wash to make them look more realistic. Cut out some foam. Decided to place the ship right there. At this moment, I'm still not sure if I'm importing salt or cement. Lastly, these are my last updates to the oil refinery. So I have a lot more tanks and whatnot. Put some gravel down. Started with the pipes. And I purchased this expensive building right here. It's pretty nice though. A lot of details on it. Starting up the BLI SD70 ACE from Montana Rail Link, consistent with another SD70 ACE from Cotto. Going to pick up some new cars that I put on the layout up north in the Brooklyn yard. That's about the steepest part of the layout. That's where the train is most likely to stall. That's a Q30 on that main right now, which is a coal train, as this consist is going on the siding. So this siding goes to the coal station, where at some point I will be doing some functional coal drops. And there's also a siding that it's going on right now to bypass this train. And that siding sort of acts like a siding, but it also is a part of my yard lead, I guess you would say, for longer trains due to my small layout. as I'm editing this, I'm realizing that I'm doing part two before part one. But anyway, so these are the six cars that I purchased. These flat cars, $10 a piece at one of my local shops where they purchase someone's layout or whatever, and they are marked as MP. I didn't look that up. All I can think of is Missouri Pacific off the top of my head. So now we are leaving Brooklyn Yard. In Brooklyn Yard, it acts as an interchange for UP. Also, they do unload and I guess load intermodal cars. But the two tracks on the far end are for oil tanks, refined oil for making plastic pellets, and we also keep some hoppers for plastic pellets after they are processed. And I do have an injection molding shop in another plastic shop on the lower level, or I call that the south portion of the layout. I've been thinking back and forth, or I was, about taking up this track and relaying it just because it's not as flat as you would want it to be. However, I haven't been finding any issues getting out of the yard, DC or DCC. So I think I'm going to keep it as is. I did make some changes to the support. I have some jerry rigging that I did under there anyway to make it a bit more flat. I was having an issue, and it's always with the same engine, which is the Jivo Kato engines. And I'm not sure. It's really just the movement of the truck, I find. And so it's just a matter of leveling things out. Like I said, at the moment, not making any changes there. So I'm pulling out a local with a new crew, freshly sanded. And the first job is to pick up some loaded hoppers filled with plastic pellets and drop off at the injection molded facility. And while in that area, I will be picking up some loaded grain cars and swapping them out with some empties that are already over there in one of the sidings. Normally, I don't have any issues with this crossover. I can't remember if I've ever tested them with these engines, but they definitely looks like I need a bit of cleaning over there, especially with the BLI switcher. That one tends to stall the most. That other one is an Atlas, and it works well. This area in general, I haven't ran trains over there in a while, so there's a lot of stalling. I had to edit a lot, not a lot, but push the train a bit. So I'll work this out, figure out what engines need to go here. I know the Atlas normally always works here. I think it's just that BLI switcher. I did test the crossover. I know there are dead parts of the crossover, and I did test it. I had them wired up and switching it back and forth to the right polarity. But for the most part, my trains run well, so that's why I don't have the crossover fully wired. But I've been thinking about it because I hate the two things that I hate is derailments. I really hate derailments, so I usually fix the tracks right away That's a priority. And just stalling of engines. So I try to figure out what's going on in that area. And if I can't find a reason, I try not to run that train in that area. However, I do that all by memory. I haven't written any of this stuff down, so that's something I need to start taking notes on. But I think all this track over here I purchased on eBay secondhand really cheap, so I think it's just a matter of cleaning, hopefully. Normally I have the sound turned off for the BLI engine too, so I'm thinking that's a part of this. Train stopped on its own. That's the first step happening. On my controller, it still has a speed notch at 30, so when I change it a bit, it goes back. But that's the first time I saw that. It happens once more. Also, I'm decluttering that yard. I took a lot off of the track. May take an Amtrak train off as well. Thank you for watching. This is part 2. Part 1 coming up.